was working with families, obviously. It's a struggle in Ecuador doing that because it's a really tough thing for people to get married. Money's always tight, and it costs quite a bit to go to the register, the government buildings, and get married and stuff like that. So most people aren't married. Almost no one is, and obviously that's a big obstacle for baptism. And most of my mission, my first mission president had told us, if they're not married, there's not much you can do. You should just walk away and just try to find people that it's easier to help. And at first I was like, okay, I guess that's what we do. But it started to bother me a little bit. I was like, why do we just not help them? They're just as much God's children as anybody else. But then once I started getting closer to a year, and the second half of my mission, I tried to focus more on that, and it made a huge difference. It was so much more rewarding and fulfilling working with families, whole families. And I remember, I think I was about a year into my mission, and I found, we were just knocking on doors. We found an old lady. She did not want to talk to us, but she sends us to go talk to her son. She's like, hey, he needs help. You should go talk to him. We go talk to him, and it turns out that he was he was a less active member. He'd been baptized a long time ago, and he had gone through some rough stuff. It turns out once we got to know him later, he told us a little bit more about what he'd gone through, and it was intense. But he had a whole family now, and none of them had been at the church. None of them knew anything about the church, and the opportunity we had to begin teaching them, helping this man get his life back together, and seeing how his excitement to get into the church and really just bring his family in. It was really neat how he turned around so fast, because he hadn't been to church in probably 15 years at least, and then just turned to 180, and he's dragging his family on Sunday, and they're all there, and it was really neat how close we got to them, because it was a struggle. It wasn't easy at all. Some of the kids had to have some rough stuff go on too in their lives, and it was tough for them to change. But they all ended up getting baptized, and the whole time really what I wanted was, while I was there, for him and his wife to get married so then she could get baptized, because she was the most excited about it. But time after time, week after week, things would happen that would keep that from happening, from them getting married. And I remember being so frustrated because everything was in place, but then Satan would just attack right at the right moment, every week. And it would just get delayed one more week and one more week and one more week. It ended up getting delayed for a couple months. I had left by then. But then I found out I was at a mission conference, and someone asked me, and they were like, you were the one teaching that family, right? And I was like, yeah. And they told me that they had got married and she had got baptized. And I think that was the most excited I ever was about somebody getting baptized, because I knew how much that meant for that family, because now that the whole family had been baptized and that it was complete, their chances of enduring to the end was so much higher, which that's a struggle down there. People get baptized like that. They think it's great, but staying active is so hard. Because a lot of people won't have that support. There'll be one person in each family that gets baptized, or there's, one spouse and some of the kids. But when everyone's baptized, when everyone's on the same page, when everyone's on the same goal, you just know they're going all the way. And that was huge. That was the first family that I got that was all the way complete. I wasn't there for all of it, but to see that, gave me so much more hope going into the rest of the mission. I was like, okay, I want that every area I go to. And it changed everything completely. Because, I wasn't looking for people, I was looking for families. And I could feel the change in me. The ability I had to teach and to find was so much greater, because my goal was greater. And what I was doing was closer to what God wanted me to do. And I just wish that happened sooner, right? So that was huge for me.